G'day Gooners and welcome to another episode of the post-match pod with me, George. I'm here as always with the incredibly talented Cal. Cal, how are you, my friend?
I am fantastic. Had a good Christmas. Obviously, Arsenal, two wins over this sort of break period. Close wins though. They made it stressful as always, but we're getting the job done. And I think we should just get onto it straight away because we didn't get into we didn't get to do a podcast, sorry, on the 24th for the Palace game. But I just want to hear your thoughts quickly on how you think we went in that game. Just a quick rundown.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be super quick because honestly, we've had so many games that my
Yeah.
memory for these games, it's not fantastic. But obviously, went to penalties. Probably should never have done, especially having listened to what Mikel said post match. Like the amount of chances that we really did create and we didn't take. And I'm sure it's a theme that we will sort of explore more coming into the Brighton game as well. But it always leaves an opportunity for error, and error is what occurred. Went to penalties, and I've got to say, every single penalty, apart from the one that was missed, was top class, top class. We're now through, obviously, to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, which I believe is one that we have to win, as in a competition
Yep.
that we have to win. Obviously, semi-final away at the Bridge first leg is never easy, but listen, any fixture when you get to this stage is a tough one. And I actually probably think that our half of the draw is probably slightly kinder than the other half. So I hope and believe we'll go and we'll win over two legs against Chelsea. And I really think that the Carabao Cup is a really important one that we have to go and win. It just, as I've said many times on this pod, it really, really does set us up for the rest of the season. I know the amount of times that City won the Carabao Cup at a canter and
Yep.
then ended up going on to win the title. So it's really, really important. It gives the boys belief that they can actually win something tangible, and should hopefully help to, I guess, galvanize all the fans as well, and give the players, fans, and staff the momentum that we need to go win this Premier League, which I think we are capable of doing. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, it was a stressful game. I always just hate it when it goes to penalties because I feel like it's just, if penalties for me are just a 50-50. Like any team on their day can win it. But we were so lucky that, like, not lucky, I guess, because it looks like the boys really had a plan for their penalties. But we just, every single penalty was just class. It just was. And I want to give a shout out to Kepa as well. Obviously, he's barely been playing and he pulls off the save. I don't know if he had his greatest game. Not sure if he maybe should have saved the Mark Way one is a little bit close to him. But I mean, he got the job done in the end, and I mean, just that just shows that like every player is getting a chance to prove themselves, and they're boosting confidence. Every player seems like I know. Obviously, I'm editing all the thumbnails and stuff. I seem to add a different player each week that we talk about, and I'm sure if we did the Crystal Palace one, I would have done a Kepa one. And it seems that every player is just getting their moment, and it's so good in these sorts of competitions because obviously we need depth. Depth is the most important thing. Obviously, you mentioned Man City when they were winning those Premier Leagues and winning the Carabao Cups, their squad depth was incredible. So I think this year could be our year. Chelsea, I mean, I think it's winnable. Obviously, we drew against them, but I'm confident we can beat them at home. Even if we get a draw away, it's not the end of the world, I think. I'm confident. So, yeah, hopefully we can win. That could be our first trophy in a while. So it sets us up nicely for the rest of
100%.
the season. But
And Cal, just before we do move on, and obviously you've touched on Keba's performance, I want to give Christian Norgard a shout out as well
yo,
because I thought he was outstanding. And obviously, I haven't been his biggest fan since he's joined us, just in terms of his performances for us. But I really do think he played a very, very integral part into our success during that game, and it gives me much more confidence knowing now that that's the Norgard that will show up if he's needed. And obviously, they're all dropping like flies at the moment, it seems, in
yeah.
terms of the injuries. So it gives me more confidence. So I thought he had a very, very good game. And just before we also move on, let me touch on my background. I promise
Oh
you,
yeah, I was gonna mention that. Yeah.
it's not a green screen. This is beautiful Noosa. I'm lucky that my family have come all the way from London to see me at Christmas/New Year. So they are joining me in sunny Noosa, which means that the Brighton game for me is going to be a 6:15 kickoff, not a 7:15 kickoff. So
Oh yeah,
obviously,
daylight savings. Forgot
uh,
about that. Yeah, true.
daylight savings in Queensland. So we're an hour behind. So it's a 7:15 kickoff. Sorry, it was it a 7:15 kickoff?
Yeah,
No,
7:15. Yeah, it
it will
was. It'll
be,
be
and that
6:15. Yeah.
6:15, 6:15, and I said Brighton by accident. What I
Oh
meant to
yeah,
say, obviously, was Aston
so
Villa,
many
but
games at the moment. It just messes with the mind, doesn't it? Yeah.
100%, 100%. But more on that Brighton game. Obviously, we came away victorious 2-1 at the Emirates. It was a tough day for us, wasn't it? We made it very difficult for ourselves. Very similar sort of storyline to the Crystal Palace game.
Yeah.
What were your just general thoughts of the game itself? And then we can obviously go down and break down both halves and obviously the squad, etc. But general thoughts there, Cal.
I think we played okay. I want to touch on Odegaard because I think he was incredible, to be honest, in my opinion. But I think the main thing for me was just the second goal, getting the second goal. Today, it just showed how important that is. Obviously, against Crystal Palace, they scored right at the death. Imagine if we hadn't got that second goal and Brighton go get that goal. Could be another draw, another could be sitting here and be disappointed. So I think the boys did well to just scrape, even if we just scrape through it, a win's a win at the end of the day. I do still believe that it's coming. It's the pieces are slowly starting to get together. Obviously, Calafiori was out in the warm up, and I mean, I'm sure he was. I'm pretty sure he was part of the lineup before. I remember I saw on Instagram he was, and he got replaced.
Yeah.
So. I mean that so many players out at the moment. It's going to be a struggle. I mean, for the rest of the season if this keeps happening. But I think the pieces are coming together, and I think Odegaard is starting to fire. And I think that was probably the main thing for me. I know you're a huge Odegaard advocate, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say about hit that performance. But yeah, it looks like Odegaard's back.
100%, and I think it's important to note for us it was a 2 a.m. kickoff for me
Oh
when I was in
yeah,
Melbourne, and for you were in Sydney or Canberra.
yeah,
Where are you at the
Sydney,
moment? Sydney,
Sydney,
you're in
yeah.
Sydney. So yeah, it was an early one. It was actually my brother and my dad's first experience of one of their
Yeah.
first experience of Australian watching Arsenal in Australia. So they were thrilled for the
How'd they
kickoff
go?
time. And
How did they go with it?
listen, they said to me that they don't know how we do it so often, which I think is probably a fair comment. But they've got, you know what, they've got a few more games before they head back, so I'm sure we'll hear from them. Not a little
Yep.
sneak peek into what may come, but we'll hear their opinions, I'm sure. But yeah, Odegaard was listen that for all those fans out there who have looked at Odegaard's performance over the last, I want to say 16 to 18 months and giving him a lot of criticism. You know what? Some of it is probably fair enough because of the high standards that he'd previously set for us. Obviously, he'd scored 15 Premier League goals in one season. I think that's the most non-penalty goals for a midfielder ever in
I think
Premier
so,
League
yeah.
history. So it I think joint with De Bruyne. So that's the levels that he's set at such a young age. Obviously, he's the captain of Arsenal as well. So that extra responsibility to perform. What I would say is for the last 16 or so months, he has been riddled with injuries in and out, which obviously makes it very, very difficult to build any sort of momentum and rhythm in your game. And someone like Odegaard, he needs rhythm. He needs constant football. He needs players around him also who are playing continuously, which he hasn't had as well, because I know when he's been out, then Saka was out, Havertz has been
Yeah.
out. Obviously, the rest of them have been out.
Everyone. Yep.
So yeah, so nothing in his game has been really rhythmic or constant. So I think now we'll start to see the best of him. And yeah, that performance was just outstanding, really. Just everything from how he helps Zubimendi in build up. I know it's something necessarily that I haven't been so complimentary of. I'd like to see him more as a number 10,
Yep.
but he doesn't struggle in those rotations. And I think him and Zubimendi dealt with it very, very well, obviously in the Brighton game. And his goal was just, yeah, it was very classic Odegaard. You know, a lot of the goals
Ozone.
that he does score. Yeah, exactly. Zone 14. He received the ball. Obviously, great bit of passage of play from us, and Saka sort of released Odegaard, 14th minute. Boom, takes one touch out of his feet, and then sort of reverses the ball into the keeper's left bottom corner. And and it wasn't just a goal. I think not only was it not just a goal, I think of late we've complimented his off the ball performance quite a lot, because what he adds to the press and the intensity and just feeling of the game, that's second to none, and it always is of that standard. But what I do think has been a sudden, I guess, improvement is how good he's been on the ball.
Yep.
His decision making, his dribbling. I think he's got faster with the ball. Like he
I can see
carries the
that. Yep.
ball and he
Yeah.
seems like he's flowing a little bit better. And I don't know, maybe it is that ankle injury of last season that was hindering him for a little bit. But now
Sure.
he looks brilliant, and all most of the good things that we did. I mean, there was one pass that he made with the outside of his foot into Saka, and my brother and I were arguing whether he could have done that first time with the inside of his foot. But I thought he was sort of waiting for the ball to come across him, and then I think produced a beautiful pass with the outside of his foot. A few lobbed passes into Gyökeres as well. He just sees the game slightly different to
Yeah.
most footballers, and again, something that we've complained about in the last 6 months since he was injured was our inability to create clear-cut chances. Now, with him in the team, it does look just slightly different, and I think that's something that we can touch on maybe in a bit more detail. I think previously I was frustrated because we weren't creating chances and we were still winning by a set piece. Now I think we really are creating a lot of chances. We're just not taking them. So that's a different obstacle that we clearly have to overcome, because this game should have been wrapped up after half time. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you can agree.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's been one of our biggest problems recently is just slow starts. And I think that's why it was I mean, who doesn't love an early goal in the game? It just makes you calm down, and then always it gives you the platform to go for the second as well, which is ultimately what won us the game. Obviously, another set piece, another own goal. Own goal was in Ballon d'Or shouts this year. I mean, he's had a great few months. So, yeah, I mean, it's just so important that we got that goal, to be honest, and just the way we got the goal. It's such like a nice play. Obviously, Saka, brilliant as always, cuts it back to Odegaard and bang. But I just want to previous before the game. Obviously, some injury news. Calafiori picked up something in the warm up. It seems like Gabriel came back today. Calafiori went out. I don't know. It seems like a curse at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but I want to hear your thoughts, especially because you kind of predicted this kind of in a sort of way. But Declan Rice at right back, obviously you were calling for Norgard to play at right back, and I thought it wasn't something that Arteta would go for. I know we've seen Thomas Partey in previous seasons fill that void, but it hasn't worked. Obviously, I don't think Partey worked when he played at right back. You were calling for Norgard to play there, but Rice was there today. How did you think of Rice's performance at right back?
Yeah, and it wasn't just Calafiori who was out. Obviously, Timber was out
Oh
yesterday,
yeah,
the day before the game, which is just another disaster, along with White being out the week before.
yeah,
So these are things that Arteta and the coaching staff have to deal with so close coming up to a game, when you have strategy, tactics obviously employed, a week of training or 3 days of training beforehand to really plan the game, and obviously the game plan had to change. But yeah, obviously Rice came in. I heard Arteta after the game talk about how he told him with 48 hours to go, like, is this something you're okay with? And Rice was like, absolutely
of
no
course,
problem.
yeah,
Just the attitude of the guy, and the application as well. Like it's all well and good him saying, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it, but also having I guess the intelligence to really play the position well. And he's just a monster, isn't he? And even in the last 10 minutes, he goes on a marauding run from right back. And as soon as he opens out his strides, like, you just can't catch him. Like, he's
yeah,
so I actually today heard like a TikTok clip of Steven Gerrard talking about what he thought on Declan Rice and how he's slowly becoming particularly world class. He has the world class frame of a midfielder. And he can do it from anywhere. Literally, he can do it from anywhere. He plays left number 8. He can play number 6. He can play right number 8, which I'd quite like to see more of, actually, him playing on that right hand side, because he's very dangerous, clearly. And yeah, another bit of magic came from him for our second goal as well. So yeah, he had a top performance. And for someone who's never really played at right back, I know he's played at centre back before, but he's
yeah,
never played at right back before. So yeah, no, super impressive. And obviously Mikel Merino comes in at centre midfield, and I think he had quite a good game as
yeah.
well. So
Agree.
yeah, just all of them, the ability to adapt to the situation was really, really good. And I think, I know you said you thought we played quite well. I thought we played really well in that first half. I
Yeah,
thought some of the football that we were playing was quick, incisive. We were sort of opening Brighton up pretty easily. I think the way that Brighton play, and fair play to them because they play the same way against everyone, helps us. I always say when teams come and press us, and they
yeah,
were sort of man to man pressing us pretty much from our goal kick, so from the off. I think that helped us because we found solutions. And it's something that we've been able to do, I think, better this season in comparison to others. I think over previous seasons, we've struggled really to find different solutions to other teams' press. But at the moment, we are either playing around, we're playing through in central areas, and we can play over the top as well because of Gyökeres's pace and strength as well. So, yeah, I thought we were very vertical in that first half. I thought we created quite a few clear-cut opportunities. Obviously, the Odegaard one we did take, but there was one just before half-time where it seemed like there was like 3 or 4 clear-cut opportunities to really put the ball in the net, and we just didn't.
Yeah, that Zubimendi flick.
Oh, and not to mention the Odegaard, the Gyökeres one in the first 3 minutes. It was a great sort of, I don't know if he meant it, but a cross from Trossard. And the ball sort of bounces over Gyökeres' head. You could probably give more insight than me being a striker, but I'm not sure if he sort of approached that strike in the appropriate way. I think what he was trying to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was trying to lob the keeper. But he sort of went with the inside of his foot instead of really just leathering the ball like he would usually do.
I think I missed the first few minutes, so you might have to elaborate more. I woke up a little bit late, so it was in the first couple minutes, was it?
Yeah, literally about 3 minutes in. Sort of the ball goes out to Trossard, and first time he sort of just clips the ball into an area, and the ball's sort of bouncing over Gyökeres' head. And he goes with the side of his foot and just literally hits it straight into the keeper's hands. Like really, really tame effort.
Was it like right down the middle of the goal? Yeah. I did see that one. Yeah. Gyökeres, I think we got to talk about him because I thought last game against Everton, he was decent, but today it just doesn't seem like we feed him. And I want to get onto one later because I know it's the second half. I just got to mention it. That chance for Martinelli at the end. If we feed Gyökeres like that, he will score goals. I just don't understand why we don't do it when he's on the pitch. I don't know if that's a stylistic thing, if that's because defenders are going to play different against him than Martinelli, so they're going to be doubled up on him. I'm really not sure what it is. I'm not sure if you have a solution for Arteta how he can use Gyökeres better, but I just feel like if we ping those balls in, because we saw it was early in the season, forgive me, I forgot what team it was, but it was the first time cross from Eze.
Forest. Yeah, Forest, Eze. I think it was.
And I think that's Gyökeres' game. Like, if we just whip those balls into him low, he will get there. But then it also seems like when he's on the pitch, there's been times we've had those low balls. There's one from Saka last week, I think, against Everton, where it went really low and there was no one there. And those are the spaces where in previous seasons, we're like, oh, if we have a number 9, we're scoring that. We have a number 9, we're scoring that. And now we have the number 9 and he's not there and not scoring it, which it's a shame. So I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully, I think it will come with time, though. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you raise some really, really smart points. I think exactly that. And I was watching something that Stan Sports do beautifully in Australia is they have the highlights of all the goals scored at a weekend. And you can just like press play and it plays all the goals. And I think Shard for Brentford scored a hat-trick, so fair play to him. But one of the goals was a very, very similar situation to the Martinelli one and a much harder finish. And he just first timed the ball straight into the top corner. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it was quite a poor miss, in my opinion, from Martinelli. And I think if you get a more lethal forward in that position, they put the ball in the back of the net. And Gyökeres is that. So it is very strange. I think Gyökeres spends too much time trying to win the physical battle with defenders. He loves contact. And I think to a certain extent, contact is important. And Haaland sort of displays, I guess, the best use of that strength and physicality when he is backing into defenders. But I think once he gets away, he's gone. And I think what Gyökeres tends to do is he tends to just absorb that contact for slightly too long.
Holds on to them, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it just means that we can't really get away. But I don't know. Maybe that will come with time. Maybe it will come with just more rhythm. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. But the Gyökeres question it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. And I know you're a big fan of Gabriel Jesus, who gives us something slightly different. I think the one who we can compare more to Gyökeres is probably Havertz, who hopefully we'll see make a return, or at least on the bench in the Villa game. Is that tomorrow? No, or in the next day. Sorry. Yeah, the 31st. And I think he deals with those situations slightly better from what I remember. But But it's definitely an interesting question. It's a hard one really to find the definitive answer for because I don't know, there is definitely talent there. You can see that there is
Yeah,
talent. He he's
got to
quite
unlock
raw.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe that will come with time and maybe with competition. The more players we have back fit, the more Gyökeres, I guess, feels the urgency to really, really step up his game. So who knows? Maybe it's a supply problem. Maybe we're not giving him the ball in areas that he really is dangerous in. I think there's definitely an aspect to that. But yeah, it's probably a combination of them all. It's probably a combination of them all. But can we talk about the goal that Brighton did score?
Yeah. I think just before that, we should touch on the Rice corner because, I mean, another own goal, but it was just a quality corner. I mean,
Ah,
this is a bit boring now, but every single week it seems that Rice, he's done it time and time again. He's just whips. I don't know how he does it. He probably has the best set pieces in Europe, to be honest. Best corners by a mile, by far. But yeah, not much to talk about really. Brighton number 10, forget his name, but put it into the
Rutia. Jorginho
Rutia.
Rutia, I think it was.
Yeah, put it into the own goal, put it into his own goal. And obviously that was the difference. 2 goals in the end. I was so happy that we just got the second goal. Like I don't care how we get it. The second goal was just so important. And then obviously Brighton did score. And then by having that second goal, it means that we're still up, but obviously it's still a 1 goal lead. So it did make it scary in the end. Classic Arsenal giving us a heart attack. But yeah, the goal from Brighton, bit scrappy. Reyes saves it, and then they just get the rebound. I mean, it seems like every week, like we went from October conceding no goals at all to just seems like we're leaking goals. It seems like something that we did last season, seasons prior a lot. So, not sure what your thoughts are on that.
I think there's a few things to unpack. I think did he save it onto the post or did it just hit the post and then sort of
It might
go
have hit the
go
post.
towards Gomez?
I think as I said that, I realized that, but yeah, I think it might have hit the
That's right.
post.
So okay. I think firstly, before I sort of dig into to the back line, I do want to give Hincapié a big shout out because for our first goal, it came from I think Verbruggen sort of kicked the ball or played the ball into one of their forwards and Hincapié went with him and managed to sort of ricochet the ball into a more favourable area for us. So that was very good. And he was doing that all game. So fair play to him. But yeah, we were defending far too casually for that second goal. Ball comes out to Minter, who's obviously a very, very dangerous player, especially having just come off the bench. I think they scored in the 53rd minute. He came on at half time. So yeah, pretty dangerous player. But the ball sort of ricochets and I can't actually remember who it was who got the initial shot off.
Yeah,
But once that ball came off the post, it was then I think Rice sort of did switch off for a half a second in your own box is just half a second too long. You just can't do that. But the ball did sort of sit quite favorably for Gomez, who made a mistake, slotted it, and then the game totally changed after that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, we were so dominant. I think it was their first shot that they
yeah.
scored. Well,
I think so.
the second shot, if you include both actions. But the game completely changed after that, and we sat deeper and deeper. We weren't able to sort of calm the game down and able to sort of start playing again. And I mean, let's talk about the Raya save. I mean, that was just outstanding.
I love it.
He's
Love it.
he's really come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, he's always been pretty good with his feet, but I think for someone who's not 6'5", his shot stopping ability and his sort of reflex is just a joke. And that save I thought it was in. Genuinely, I was like
Yeah,
convinced it was
same
a
here.
goal as soon as it came
What
off Minter's foot.
what a save that was. It gave me flashbacks to that Ramsdale save against Liverpool. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
it's just
100%.
we've talked about it before, but it's just so important that you have a goalkeeper there who's just there to bail you out sometimes. Like every team needs it, especially if we're going for this title. Like that's the difference between 2 points right there. That City obviously 2 points behind us. Like that save is the difference. You know what I mean? So credit
Yeah.
to Raya, credit to Kepa as well. It looks like we've got a good goalkeeping unit. I saw that all the goalkeepers sort of met up for the little Christmas get together, so that's good to see as well. Good for the team. But yeah, credit to him. What brilliant save and great shot from Minter as well. He's a quality player, and yeah, that really won us the game in the end. So good to see that. But yeah, obviously we went on to win the game, just a bit under pressure. But I just don't like how in previous weeks and today we've the 1 goal lead and we just sit and just invite the pressure. I don't know why we do that. I don't know how we haven't learned from that. Like we're good enough to play the ball around these teams, like especially if they're pressing us. We just need to calm it down. And just something I want to mention as well, because obviously with Timber and Calafiori coming out, Rice having to come in and makeshift right back sort of position. When I saw the proper lineup with Odegaard, Rice, Zubimendi, Marino, and Lewis Skelly, all these central midfield minded players, I thought, okay, we've got good control here. Like you have a team with five natural midfielders, you're going to
Yeah.
control the game. So I feel like we're better than Brighton to control the game, especially near the end and calm it down. And we just seem to just not do that. So I don't know. I don't know. We need to fix that, I think, in my opinion.
No, 100%. It's a great point, actually. But I thought that I guess it's something that Arteta needs to really improve on when we're leading games. Instead
Yeah.
of trying to see them out because our backline is so good, and even our units, the 4-4-2 mid block is has been so formidable in the last, I don't know, year and a half since our defensive record really took shape. But um, now we have the squad to not just see games out. We have the squad to go and kill games off. And it's that
Yeah.
little flick of the switch where I actually thought that we should have bought on Madueke, our more in transition players, so that when we do get that ball, we have players who are direct. And obviously, he made the change with Martinelli, and Martinelli had that chance that he didn't put away. But I thought that Madueke should have come on for Saka on that other side. I thought Saka had a great game, by the way, really improving in the last couple of weeks, and he's just getting to a standard where you just know every week he's going to contribute, which is fantastic, exactly what we want to see. But I thought it was that period of the game, maybe between the 70th and 80th minute, where we really could have established the control back and really been a threat on the counter attack. So yeah, I thought Madueke should have come on, and potentially Eze as well. I mean, we can touch
Yeah.
more about Eze because Eze hasn't really featured since our last game
Yeah.
against Villa. Obviously, he made the mistake with Matty Cash twice. One of them led to a goal. But yeah, he hasn't really had a look in since. And obviously, with Villa on the horizon, what are your thoughts, I guess, on that game? Villa, obviously, 3 points behind us. Have just come back from behind again to beat Chelsea at
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge. Ollie Watkins with a brace came on to score a brace, by the way.
Wow.
After, I don't know, he's had quite an up and down season. He's
Yeah.
slowly getting back to the point where, well, just classic, just before an Arsenal game where he's really starting to hit
Yeah.
form. But obviously, this is a massive game, a huge game.
Huge game,
So what are
especially
your
for the
thoughts, man?
yeah, so I mean, especially for the context of the league right now. Obviously, Brighton, that means we've played every team once now, so we're officially halfway in the league. And this is a good point right here to make a stamp on the league and show that we can do it. First game of this new round. We're at home. Obviously, it's good to play Villa again after. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago. What was it, about 3 or 4 weeks ago that we played them? It's so good that we get to play against them again to try and get our revenge. At home, more
100%.
confident at home as well. I know they've given us problems in the past, but yeah, I think there's glimpses from that Brighton game, the first half especially, where it gives me confidence, and I really want to win this game, man. Obviously, Aston Villa, like, are they? Do you think they're in a title race? Because they could be, Just
Well,
don't know
if
if it's
they get a
sustainable.
if they get a positive result against
Yeah,
us, they'll definitely be in a title race. They're a really good side, a really well
yeah,
coached side. Obviously, Unai Emery's their coach, used to coach us. I think with Unai, he just joined at the wrong time. Anyone who was going to follow Arsene Wenger and what he had left, and
yeah,
not just the good things that he had left, but also the sort of mess that he had left with the backroom staff, the owners, and Raul Sanllehi and Sven Mislintat, and all of that debacle. It made it very difficult for anyone who was going to step in, especially after such a, I guess, great figure of English football and obviously a great figure of Arsenal literally built the Emirates, to come in and really stamp his authority on the club. So. Yeah, I don't have obviously the most fond memories of Unai, but at the same time, I really don't see him in a negative light like some
yeah.
Arsenal fans do. I think he's a really good coach, who I think if he actually got the players that he wanted at the time, I know he really wanted Wilfried Zaha, ended up with Nicolas Pepe, and we all know how that ended up. But if he was given the time and the resources like Mikel Arteta has been given, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be too surprised if he really, really did achieve good things at Arsenal. So Villa have really got themselves a great coach. They've got a really good squad. And they're performing at a really, really high level after not starting very well at all. Didn't they take
Yeah.
quite a
I think it
few games to
was
score their first
four
goal?
games they didn't score a single goal. I remember I was saying like, oh my God, they could get relegated or have a struggle season at least. Obviously not get relegated, but not finish in that sort of European positions that they've been so accustomed to in recent seasons. But yeah, looks like they're well and truly back. I guess credit to them. They're playing brilliant. Ollie Watkins, I am a big fan of him. I think I would have taken him at Arsenal, to be honest. I think he's a quality player. And obviously he's hit a bit of form just before Arsenal as well. And he has scored at the Emirates against us. I know you probably have good memories of him at the Euros when he scored that goal. That's a
Oh,
great
right.
finish. So,
Yeah.
but
Great memories of that. Less so of him scoring at the Emirates. I was actually there for that game when we sort of the title was sort of over. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, he's a good player. So obviously they've just got players all around the pitch that are brilliant. To be honest, honestly, obviously Matty Cash scored against us. I rate him a lot as well. Emi Martinez has sort of become a player that I usually respect a lot of ex-Arsenal players, but for him, I don't know. He's just been annoying, isn't he? I know he won
I
the
mean,
World
listen,
won the
he's a
World
great
Cup.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, of course. I think he's a bit overrated, to be honest. We can get to that another time in the future, but yeah, obviously John McGinn seems to always just cause problems for us. They've just got quality all around the pitch, so it's going to be a good game. But I think we should get onto our lineups. I want to hear your lineup, see how we go into
Well,
this game.
well, before I do, man, you've probably missed their most important / world class player. I mean, let's talk about Morgan Rogers for a sec. This guy is an absolute joke.
Fair
He's
enough.
scoring or assisting almost every single week. And this is probably quite a controversial clip, so try not to clip this one. But at the moment, Cole Palmer is going to struggle to get in that England squad, mate, because
No, I agree.
obviously Bellingham gets in, but Morgan Rogers probably starts at the moment in our best 11 based on form, and you can't really look past the form of Phil Foden in that number 10 position as well,
Yep.
who's having a great season at Man City. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what Thomas Tuchel decides for the World Cup. Obviously, there's a long time between now and then, but yeah, Morgan Rogers is playing at a level which is it's just incredible, mate. It's incredible. Obviously, he scored two extremely good goals against United, and then an assist for Ollie Watkins' first goal against Chelsea. So yeah, really, really good player to look out for as well. Again, very dangerous players throughout their 11. They can cause us some serious issues. Obviously, it was Buendia who came on for them to score their late winner against us in the reverse fixture. But yeah, I'm still confident. I can't lie to you. I'm still confident at the Emirates, but they have a real point to prove, this Arsenal squad, and they've got to go out and do it.
Yep, for sure. This is a chance for us to stamp our name on the title, hopefully. So this is a huge 6-pointer, to be honest. It is a 6-pointer. And obviously we've got some tough games ahead. We've got Liverpool in the new year as well, which, I mean, I know they're not as good, but they're slowly creeping back. Verts are starting to perform as well, which I think is probably key for them for their attacking outlets. So it's a big, very important period of this new year. Obviously, I know we've said it so many times, but Arsenal have not played good over the New Year period and Christmas period in recent times. We're scraping these wins, which is good to see. We are improving.
So predicted 11s. What is your predicted 11 for this game? I don't know. I can't even remember how we usually do it. Do we do what we want, or do we do what we think Arteta will do?
I prefer to do it what we want, because then it makes it sound like we have ball
Okay.
knowledge when we get it right, you know?
Okay.
This is the thing though, because we were talking off camera just then, but Timber, Calafiori, we don't know who's going to be back. I have a feeling that Timber might be back because he was rested because it was a precaution thing. So I assume they're probably saving him for this game because it's such a big game. Calafiori, I'm just gonna go with that he's out for my lineup. So this is what I will go with. So in goal, I'm gonna go David Raya, right back Timber. Sorry, Declan Rice, but he's gonna go back in the midfield. Centre backs, I'm gonna go for Saliba. I'm gonna go Gabriel. I know it might be too soon to put him back in, but he's such a tough sort of player. So I'm sure he's the sort of player that does not care. He wants to go back in straight away. So I'm gonna go Gabriel. So good to see that partnership is back. Left back, I'm going to go Lewis Skelly. In the 6, I'm going to go Zubimendi. Declan Rice in the 8. And then just ahead of them, I'm going to go Martin Odegaard. Right wing, Saka. On the left, I'm going to go for Trossard. And up front, Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, I think that my team will be exactly the same. I just think that Calafiori will be back. So
Okay.
he'll be the only change that I make. I'm going to go Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, so our best back four. And obviously, yeah, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard. Um, Again, like I really do want to at some point see Eze play on that left hand side, but can't really drop Trossard at the moment. He's having such a good season. You got to just
Yeah.
play him. It's a big game, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see players come off the bench to impact the game. Obviously, Eze, Martinelli, Madueke. Hopefully,
I definitely want to see Madueke get some minutes as well because he's been
for sure.
lacking a bit, and Eze as well. Like I just want to see us just go all out for this game, just attacking threat, really put the pressure on Villa. Yeah, it'll be great to see Madueke, I think.
For sure, and obviously Jesus and hopefully Havertz will be
Yeah,
back on that bench as well, which will be massive for us going
huge.
forward.
Yep.
But in terms of Villa, what do you expect to see from them? I know they played a 4-4-2 with Watkins playing as a striker actually in their game against Chelsea, but they usually play a 4-2-3-1, which I think is probably what they will do. I'm not sure what you think about that.
I mean, they'll probably just try and do the same thing that they did to us at Villa Park, to be honest. I think the biggest thing that they will do is they'll bring the energy, which is something that we need to combat quickly and shut them down. Obviously, against Chelsea, Chelsea were well up for it and they got the result in the end. I think just them being up for it purely got that result. So I think they're going to be fired up, but we need to be fired up as well. We can't be too lackluster. And I think being at home will help with that. And I hope the crowd is absolutely roaring at the Emirates, sort of our last game before the year, sorry. So let's go out with a bang. But yeah, it's really just about the energy for me. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but we need to take the game to them strong.
100%, 100%, and Arteta always makes a thing of it in his pre-match, talking about how the fans are like a 12th player and they really need to be. But similarly, the players need to give the fans a reason to really G up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to start very quick. We need to start very quick. I want us to press really high and intensely from the front, win the ball in high areas, and just carry on creating chances the way that we've been doing in our last few games. We just need to convert them. That's the biggest difference. I mean,
Yep.
you
Yep.
think of the 2023-24 season in that last 6 months when we played 18, won 16, drew one, lost one. The amount of teams we were beating 5s and 6s wasn't necessarily because we were creating 20 chances in a game. It's because we were creating
Just
6 or
taking
7
them.
chances in a game and we were sticking the ball in the back of the net. So we need to be able to do that. Obviously, it's not going to be 4s, 5s, and 6s against Villa because obviously they're a top
Hopefully.
class team. I mean, hopefully, of course, but I still think there are goals in this game, and we left goals on
Yeah.
the pitch in both the Palace game and the Brighton game. So we need to go and put that right against Villa. What would you predict score?
2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-1. I'm
Okay.
a little more confident. I really think they're going to bounce back from their last game, and I also think that having Gabriel back in and
Yeah.
amongst the squad is massive. Not just from set pieces, but also from a defensive point of view. I think we'll look far more solid. Having Deckers back in the centre of the park will also be great for us. If Timber can be fit, that'll be absolutely brilliant. And yeah, in terms of left back, obviously Calafiori ideally will be fit, but if not, I know that Miles or Hincapié will step in and be top class as well. So yeah, still very confident. I'm predicting 3-1. But yeah, I think that's probably all we got time for here, Cal.
Just one more thing. There's a big sense of confidence, I think, coming from us, just purely off the fact that Gabriel is back. That just shows how important he is to this team. Like, just the idea of watching Gabriel and Saliba have hopefully a full 90 together. We'll see how Gabriel goes. I guess he's fresh off injury, but he's a tough player, so he'll be fine. But watching that partnership along with Timber and hopefully Calafiori is just it puts so much more confidence into the game. So hopefully we win the game. Good luck to the boys. But yeah, as you mentioned, I think that's all we've got time for. I hope everyone had a great Christmas, and I did. I hope you did as well, George. And yeah, we'll come back on the 31st, hopefully. But if we don't see you 31st, obviously we'll get a podcast out. Surely we'll see you next year, I guess. But yeah, that's enough from me.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, Gooners. Hope you have a
Yeah.
happy and healthy one. And obviously, have a good day, Gooners.
Have a good day, Gooners, and I hope you had a good year as well. See you soon.